So, like I said, I am Linda Wellbrock, the founder of Leading Women Entrepreneurs and the Force for Change Awards. Before we get started, I just want to give you the agenda at a glance so everybody understands how the next hour is going to unfold, because we have a lot of exciting things that we've added to this year's announcements. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background and talk about what the awards are and what the criteria was. Then we have an incredible guest speaker that I feel so honored that could join us today, Maggie Cook Garcia. Then there are some advisory board members who would like to also say a few words about their involvement with this year's program and platform. And after that, we are going to do two things that we haven't done before. And that is give everyone and the attendees the ability to connect through our speed networking platform. So I'm just trying to admit a couple other people here. And after that, we are going to have the very exciting announcements of both the top 25 leading women. Then we are going to announce the top 25 Force for Change honorees. And if your name is announced, then please stay for the end of the program, because we have some details that you're going to want to know about. So thank you all for coming. Leading Women has recognized over 600 of the best and brightest women leaders in the state of New Jersey over the past decade in an effort to raise the visibility platform for diverse leaders. And it's been such an exciting journey over the past decade to build this environment of success that really has fostered the ripple effect of people meeting one another and supporting each other personally and professionally, and working together to make the future even brighter. In addition to LWE, given this unprecedented time in our world's history, we chose last year to honor some of New Jersey's amazing heroes and leaders through our newly established Force for Change Awards initiative. And the Force for Change honorees are those men, women, and companies who made a significant shift to address the pandemic and pave the way for a better future for New Jersey citizens, the nation, and the world. So some of the Force for Change honorees are the amazing leaders that actually helped us get through COVID over the past year. And many were instrumental in assisting New Jersey citizens navigate and advance through the pandemic by recreating what this new normal is. So I have dedicated my entire professional career to meeting, networking, shaking hands, and occasionally hugging when appropriate, thousands of people throughout this great state. And I've been able to showcase the state's top trailblazers over the past decade through fabulous events with rooms filled with hundreds of decision makers and influencers. But that way of doing business, as we all know, came to a screeching halt last March with the arrival of the coronavirus. And let's face it, it's not likely to ever return exactly as it was. Thankfully, technology has opened up new doors of being more efficient and effective. And today's event is one of those examples. So as I start this new journey with all of you, one that kind of keeps us behind computer screens, but it does not dim the light of awesomeness of the men and women that we honor and the positive impact that they have made upon our great state of New Jersey. So please join me in celebrating their efforts and accomplishments on the Leading Women event, which is October 28th. It will be virtual. For those of you who were with us last year, it was really fun to kind of see the new technologies that facilitated having a conference online. And the Force for Change event, please mark your date. November 8th is when we will be celebrating the Force for Change honorees. So, without further ado, I would like to present you with a very special message from our guest speaker, Maggie Cook, who is representative of everything that we look for in leading women and how to be a force for change in today's world. So I am going to welcome Maggie by starting a video that really illustrates her story. I'm going to ask all of you to turn your volume up, and you may want to grab a tissue.
Gift of $800 when I was homeless, and a company that sold a Campbell's soup in 2015.
When I first tasted Maggie salsa, I was blown away. It was awesome product. I could tell it was fresh. I could tell it was made with quality ingredients, and knew that it would be a great product for Walmart.
I am from Mexico, and this was life in an orphanage. And yes, these are my 68 brothers and sisters. Ever since I can remember, I mostly worked in construction, digging ditches, cutting trees, and gathering topsoil from the mountains. At times, we had no food for weeks, so some of my brothers and I resorted to hunting with our bare hands. We basically hunted at night using spotlights and nets to catch our prey. When I was about 6 years old, I started digging caves in sides of mountaintop canyons. These were my secret hiding places to rest. This was a way to try to escape, to cope with the things that I saw and lived. As a way out of the orphanage, I pursued basketball and got recruited in high school to play for the Mexican national team, but I broke my collarbone. My ticket out was months later when I got recruited to play basketball for the University of Charleston, and that's how I came here. I learned to play basketball really good by covering my eyes with the help of an orphan kid named Pancho. We found Pancho in a dumpster as a baby. He couldn't walk because he had spinal bifida, and my job was to carry him everywhere I went. When I graduated college, I couldn't find a job and I became homeless. I ended up living in the streets and also in the woods in a nearby forest. But to be honest, I didn't even know that I was homeless because that's how I lived most of my life. In 2004, I started my salsa company with a gift of $800 when my friends entered me into a salsa contest. I won the contest and I had an aha moment. I started my business and it grew very, very fast. My products sold in 38 states to supermarkets like Walmart's, Whole Foods, Sam's Clubs, and many more companies carried my products. Shortly after my company was sold to Campbell's, I went back to Mexico and helped save 31 orphan children who were in grave danger. Some of them were victims of sex trafficking. We later were able to involve the federales and the military in the continuous pursuit of the safety of these kids. The best type of giving currency is not money. It is the willingness to give your life in the service of others. Never take for granted one single moment of your life. Change starts now.
Absolutely incredible, Maggie. I mean, just to see that 3-minute video is so moving, and there's so many questions I'm sure everybody wants to ask you. And I know we're virtual and we're all muted, but the cheering is going on. I can feel the energy. So share with us a little bit more of your story and your message. It's just truly incredible.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. Thank you for having me. First of all, I just wanted to say that. And second of all, I just wanted to say congratulations to everyone, to the winners that are here today. And I'm here for just a little bit, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be a force for change. And I truly believe that based on my experiences in life, the biggest thing that I can share is if you want to be a force for change, you have to start with yourself. You have to fix yourself. You have to be complete. You have to overflow in order to be able to be the energy that serves the world, the energy that people can feel and you end up attracting into your life to make a difference. And, coming out from this place where there's a lot of suffering, a lot of different things happened, I was strong enough somehow to have a strong mind to always see myself as a super successful woman with heels and a dress, behind a mahogany desk, even though I didn't see anything outside of that barbed wire fence. And so when I talk about focusing on yourself, it's all about mentality and mindset. And also remember, if you come across something that's inspirational and of value to your life, what are you going to choose to remember? Because we forget. It's so easy to forget from one day to the next. And so that it's really truly what it means to me. But also it comes with, what kind of inspiration you're going to be to the world. What can you contribute? How can you be an example? How can you give back? And every time you give back, it's always about the law of reciprocity. Everything comes back into you. And it's about being relentless. It's about being resourceful. It's about being resilient. If you want to make a difference, if you want to become super successful, you have to be open to rediscovery. We go through our lives and we have different events that happen. How are you rediscovering yourself? How is that going to change the way, the path that your business goes and takes? Truly understand your purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you here? There are no accidents. There's a purpose. And every single moment that goes by in a day, including this one right now, is passing by. What do you choose to feed? What did you choose to focus on in order to make the difference that you're here on this earth to do? So I wanted to share something with you. One of probably the most impactful things that ever happened to me was when I started to grow my company, and I was actually homeless. And this is before I started to grow my company. And my caregiver told me that I would never amount to anything, that I would die in prison and with AIDS, exactly his words, because I came out to him. And I was set on a journey to prove him wrong. And my why was diverted because I had fear of failure. But he never recognized my success. But a week before he passed in 2009, he wrote me a letter. And I'm going to read it to you if it's okay, very quickly. He wrote it on an email, and he said, "Maggie, I am so proud of you. You won't know what I mean, but you're from the old school, from the old generation, maybe 50 years back, the generation that had the work ethic, discipline, and most of all, a dream and willingness to labor and make that dream a reality." He said, "You are so caught up in what you're doing at this moment that you can't fathom where you'll be in 5 and 15 and 25. Because of your willingness, it's going to be big. America needs more people like you and your values to be passed down, and if it is to survive. You're one big asset to everyone in your life. Sweetheart, I'm really proud of you."
Aww.
When I was able to rediscover my why, I knew that my salsa company was just a stepping stone for something bigger, which is what I'm doing today. When I rediscovered my why and completely left the fear, my company grew tremendously. And then it sold to Campbell Soup for $231 million. Fear holds you back. Fear and love cannot coexist at the same time in the body. Whatever you feed is what you'll get more. So that's what I mean by rediscovery. And someone asked me one time, if your dad was alive, or wherever he is, if you could talk to him, what would you say? And I said, I would say, "Thank you so much for what you put me through, because it made me the woman that I am today." So today I want to ask you to think about all your past and where you have come from, and who do you need to thank for the shift and for the person that they made, and shift that energy from, because I used to hate. But when you let go of that which holds you back, then you become so much more successful. Who do you need to release and thank? Not in a thank you negative way, but thank you. I thank you so much. I'm so grateful because all that mess became my message. And the last thing that I'm going to say to you is, you are so much more powerful than you think you are. So much more. It's time for you to really focus on yourself. If you need to do rediscovery, it is time for you to take the mantle in where you are right now, really map a course to where you want to be, having the intention on that purpose and that true why as to why you're existing today. So this is it, guys. Just wanted to be here for a little bit. And I wanted to say hi to Kristen Christie. She's here. She's an awesome human being. She was one of the people that I got a chance to coach. I saw you earlier, so I just wanted to say hi. And just, Linda, thank you so much for having me here. I know that it's, it's a short moment here, but I'm actually flying to Mexico. We're building a school for little poor kids. And so I'm going to have to let me know if I need to stay a little bit longer to answer questions or anything, but I'm going to have to probably go pretty soon. But thank you so much for having me here today. Really appreciate it.
Maggie, I mean, I'm all tearing up here, as I'm sure all of the attendees are, because your message is just so powerful and so, so thank you for sharing your heart with us, because it takes a strong person to be able to open up and share the vulnerability too that comes along with success. And you have walked the walk, and now you're talking the talk. And I just feel so blessed that you're here with us today, and that you've been an advisory board member, and you've given so much light and love to this platform this year. So we're going to welcome you back, because I think we all need to spend more time with Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for doing your part to make the world a much, much better place. And it is because you're in it. So thank you, Maggie. Maggie's contact information is there for anybody who would like to reach out. We can put it in the chat field as well. And we'll be in touch, Maggie. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
What a great way to start off this incredible event today. I hope that you all enjoyed that. And I know that I did. So, again, Maggie is an advisory board member. We have had an incredible group of advisory board members for this 2021 year. I just want to thank all of them, because your support and your insight and your guidance and your nominations this year have really unfolded to be yet another year of just amazing people. Again, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I fear, but I know I got to lose the fear after that talk. I fear at the end of every year, I'm like, that group was so amazing. How are we possibly going to find more amazing people next year? And trust me, when we announce the winners, you will see. I also want to mention, everybody's been invited to this. Your applications were so incredible. And if your name is not announced, we just want you to know that this is an all-inclusive environment, and we want you to continue to network, and your accomplishments, whether you're announced or not, have not gone unnoticed. So we're going to do something different this year. As we reemerge from this pandemic that has kept us physically apart for more than a year, it is essential that we join together and forge new connections and build strong personal and business relationships. As a part of our announcements today, we'll be offering all of you, all of our attendees, an interactive speed networking experience, and you will be able to meet the fellow change makers and gain access to limitless business building opportunities. At least that is my intention for having all of you connect. There's a great group of people who are registered here today. So we are going to ask you, we're going to virtually transport you into breakout rooms for about 8 minutes. When you're in there, you will have the opportunity to introduce yourself, and we are going to give you one question that you can answer. So the question is, what is one business goal that you want to accomplish in 2021? So say who you are, what your company is, and what is one business goal that you want to accomplish. Each of you should have about 30 seconds to a minute to speak. Again, it's short, and we're going to do 2 rounds of this, and we have a big group. So if you can, Madeline, take everybody into their rooms, I'll be popping in and out, and take the opportunity to meet some amazing people, because I know who's on this list and there are some powerful people. So I'll let you take it from there. Have fun, everyone. Welcome.
We just need a couple more minutes for everyone else to join from the waiting rooms.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know if Lynn Speak is back up, but she can share the PowerPoint presentation too while people are entering. I guess it's not even necessary. Spotlight. Oh, there's Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Oh, you're still on mute.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Did I come off? It's going back and forth. Am I on mute?
You're good. So we're going to spotlight you. And
Oh, perfect.
hi, Marcia. We're going to let Kelly Kurtzman go first. Kelly was an honoree back in 2019, back when we were doing live events with 500 people, and you would have met Maggie keynoting, and it's a different feel, but we're thankful for the silver linings that we got. And thank you, Kelly, for being an advisory board member. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. Yes, Kelly Kurtzman. I have the sales and service team for FiOS at Verizon. And, you know, Linda, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for your leadership. And I love being part of your team, and would just say, you know, it was so great to be honored. And what it really meant for me was, one, just the able to see all the great work that everyone else was doing and to make those connections with people, the ability to network with everybody was so great. And one of my favorite things about that was really being able then to pay it forward and highlight and sponsor JBWS, which is a domestic violence agency I'm on the board of, and do an illuminator spread for them last year and the great work that they've done during the pandemic. So I just feel really blessed and honored to be part of this fantastic network, and thank you for your leadership.
Great. I'm actually going to hold up the illuminator spread that you did.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we have this handy. So those of you who know that we work closely with NJ Biz, this is what Kelly was talking about with the executive director and highlighting 8 employees there with their mission to end domestic violence. And especially during the pandemic, it was really moving to read about the great work that everybody was doing there. So Thank you, Kelly, for sharing that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we will move to Marcia. Marcia, thank you so much. You were a Force for Change honoree last year and an advisory board member this year. And we feel so grateful to have you working with us. So I'll let you introduce yourself too.
Sure. So my name is, I am Director of Inclusion at Prudential Financial. I hope you can hear me.
It's getting a little
You can
wonky,
hear
but we passed it.
Okay, sometimes I've been having challenges. Yes, I'm happy to, and I just really wanted to take a moment to really share and thank Linda, first of all, for the work that you're doing. For me, it really brought to light that I'm unstable. You can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's going in and out, but we're used to this. We've been a year in this pandemic, so we know the drill.
Absolutely. So I wanted to just highlight that, you know, doing is really helping not just myself, but women too. In this industry, what I find, especially I'm in the financial service industry, we sometimes don't know our worth. And when you did, and what you just shared for my company, notice. So it was like amazing that you took notice of me to make sure that my company was able to take notice of me, right? And so I was like, oh, wow, this is powerful. And I was like, but I've worked 15 years, like you didn't know. And so I did end up with an expanded role. And then outside of that, I was actually able to do more of my, and meeting Christy, who was another award last year, who I saw here earlier. I think she's on the call, actually introduced me to SHRM. And so then I was able to actually go and do some volunteer work, really build out inclusion and diversity, really helping HRBPs understand some of the challenges and some of the things that you can do to help advance the work, because it is a journey. And so all of that came because of you acknowledging people like myself that I didn't even realize my worth. So I just really want to honestly say thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Yeah, and Kelly, that's so nice. And now that I showed Kelly's, I have to show Marcia. So this was a great photo. We offer a photo session, and that will be coming up down the line. But it's incredible to think about that ripple effect. And I feel that there's so many remarkable women that do go unnoticed within their own companies. And you know, I'm thrilled that I get to do some part of moving that needle to make sure everybody knows how incredible, you know, women like yourself are and how great of a job that they're doing. So listen, you're both the perfect examples. You know, we believe in raising the visibility platform because it helps grow your businesses and your personal branding. And it also inspires the next generation to come, and it leads to connections. So thank you both for sharing that. Now we're going to go into round 2 of speed networking. We're going to have 7 minutes before we make the announcement of all of the winners. And we have one other advisory board member who's going to share her experience as well. Okay, we're virtually transporting you. Have fun, everyone. Hopefully you get into a different room. Great. Well, I hope you were able to connect with some amazing people, and we highly encourage that. So exchange information in the chat if you'd like to. And I now have another advisory board member who would like to share some thoughts. But actually, Tara, before you go, Dr. Natasha Chin was scheduled to speak because she's been such a great asset to the advisory board as well. But she just texted me, she's already delivered 8 babies today, and she is now in an emergency C-section. So she unfortunately couldn't be here, but she sends all her positivity and she's bringing new life into this world. So wishing her luck. Anyway, Tara, thanks for joining.
Wait, that's not fair. I get Maggie and then Dr. Chin and then me. So that's a hard one to fill the shoes. But I have been honored to be part of Linda and the LWE's advisory board for, I think, from the beginning of its inception. I have read binders full of applicants. I have joined with Linda on so many different amazing journeys as we spotlight some of the most amazing people that this state and beyond have to offer. Who knew that the cumulative brain trust of the Garden State of New Jersey had so much powerful and amazingness? And then you go and you meet a Maggie Cook, and we're all humbled, and we're all should be inspired to know that anybody can do anything, and anything that's stopping you is all up here. And we have to remember that. And what's been so great about LWE is how it does, as people mentioned before, remind you of your greatness and your goodness. If someone says you're great, maybe you'll believe them. And maybe then you'll continue on the journey that you're supposed to be on. I've had the great fortune of going with Linda. I say yes to almost everything Linda asks me, and I've never been steered wrong. There's been doubt along the way, but I've gone to countries like Ireland and Norway. I've been to Spain, bringing women along the world, because the world is, as we learned in this pandemic, is so much, it's a much smaller world than we knew of a year and a half ago. And there's so much commonality among everyone, and that we can just really expand our brains and our minds and our opportunities by being open, and maybe taking that business title and not using it as a guard against people, and opening up and reminding what Maggie said, is that we're all human beings on this planet with a purpose. And if you all are open to helping other people before you're out there to support yourself, the world will come back in the reciprocity that Maggie said. What Maggie didn't mention is that she gave away all that money, every dollar. So that's what this is all about, to find this. And as Linda said, we've been listening and watching the amazingness of people, but it doesn't get old and it doesn't stop. There's so many more people to honor and to glorify and to share. And the reason, I think the main reason to do that, is to empower other people to move 1 step, 10 steps, 100 steps further in their awesomeness. And if we didn't learn that in the last 15 months, then we weren't paying attention. So LWE is an amazing platform in whatever format it is. Linda has a magnet of attraction that brings people like you. And I've been so honored to get to know so many of you, and I look forward to meeting many more. Linda, you're muted. You think you'd have this down by now.
No, I said thank you so much. I know many of you are new to this platform, and we've hosted global retreats and local retreats and national retreats all over the world. So if that is something that you're interested in, then you'll get information. I think the world is opening back up. We were supposed to go to Israel right before the pandemic hit. So unfortunately we had to cancel that one, but we'll have more exciting things coming up. So stay tuned. Okay, so now I'm sure you're all ready for the big announcements of who is in the class of 2021. Again, I just want to remind everyone that if your name doesn't get announced, that we still think you're amazing. Unfortunately, I gave it a 25 10 years ago, so we can only pick 25 people. But out of the hundreds of applications that have come in, it's every single last one of them is just really personally inspiration in every way. So I know you're all muted, but don't be afraid to cheer virtually on social media. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, it's Linda Wellbrock. Our Facebook page is Leading Women Entrepreneurs and Business Owners. There's Force for Change NJ, Twitter at LWEUS. Tag us, do whatever you want. If your name's announced, you will get a press release after this as well. So stay tuned. Okay, let's start with the first announcement, and we're going to go through this pretty quickly. So on the Leading Women Entrepreneurs, our first honoree is Emma Eyre, CEO and President of Franklin Foods. Then we have Nikki Bolukos and Carissa Jordan, co-founders and co-CEOs of Benjamin Talks. Paige Bratton, founder and CEO of Seaworthy Patches. Dr. Regina Hampton, medical director, Breast Care Center, and founder of Cherry Blossom Intimates. Jessica King, vice president of marketing at BotKeeper. Go to the next slide. Yes, and Laura Carruthers Osborne, president, Carruthers Consulting LLC. Kim Crotty, HR executive of Jersey Staffing Solutions and Morris County SHRM. Ushta Devar Kentinwala, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing everyone, founder of Find Genetics. Sari Freeman, owner of Passages of Distinction. Jennifer Gilman, founder and president of Gilman Strategic Group. Michelle Heidi, private wealth advisor for Michelle Heidi and Associates. Marcy Hopkins, executive producer and talk show host of Wake Up with Marcy. Kimberly Ippolito Salerna, VP of Quality Engineering for WW, formerly Weight Watchers. Laura Longman, Princeton Area Community Foundation, Chief Financial Officer. Joanna Jin, Global Chief of Staff, Consumer and Wealth Management at Goldman Sachs. Sandy Coe, Senior Analyst and Principal of CC Women with Customer Management Practice. Shelley Kuntz, Associate Director, Human Resources at Novartis. Lisa Marks Canty, President and founder of Nest Global Solutions and provider of residential mortgage transformational microservices. Mari Marquise Thomas, Vice President, Social Responsibility and Talent Development at Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. Avani Modar Sarkar, co-founder and chief creative thinker of Madi Toys. Marianne Pagano, CEO of Black Hawk Data. Dr. Jill Saxon, Executive Director, Professional Strategy at Bausch & Lomb. Carolyn Sayon of Carolyn Sayon, Managing Director, Dress for Success, Northern New Jersey. Tamisha Smith, Chief Executive Officer, Dunbar Center Incorporated. Melissa Stosic, Vice President of Medical Affairs at Dot Lab. And congratulations, that is our Leading Women Entrepreneurs and Intrapreneurs class for 2021. Again, you will be celebrated on October 28th. We will send you all sorts of information. Oops, that's our Force for Change winner, our first one. We will send you all sorts of information and details after this event. Please stay tuned for that. And if you're not getting emails from me, that means I'm going into your spam. So please check that because you're definitely gonna want to get the information that we're about to send out. Okay, our Force for Change Awards, where we're honoring men, women, and companies who have been a force for change during this pandemic. Mark this date, your event is on November 8th. We invite everyone to attend. So again, if you're not called or if you just want to support, it's going to be a great networking and inspirational event just like this one today. For those of you who don't get announced, you know we love you over here. So please, keep coming to events and it's all inclusive here. So our first winner is Carolyn Bouchamp, President and CEO of the Mental Health Association in New Jersey in the category of mental health. Kathleen D. Bennett, President and CEO of New Jersey Hospital Association, category of hospital advocate. Joyce Bracaglia, founder and CEO at Alta Associates and the Executives Women's Forum and Board Suited in the category of leadership education. Kristen Christie in the category of resilience with Kristen Christie LLC. Cardinal Joseph William Tobin, the Archbishop of Newark in the category of spiritual leadership. Stephen Cohen, partner at Morgan Lewis and Bacchius and chairman of the board for Meditation for Leadership. He's in the category of funding and leadership. Darren Cristello, Chief Commercial Officer at Mission Bio in the category of biotechnology. Gary Doms, the President and CEO and Chairman of the Board at T&M Associates in the category of engineering. Christian Dunning, Division Vice President at American Residential Services, AJ Perry, in the category of social impact. So sorry about that. Then the Garibaldi Group, taking the company award for family business. The CEO at the Garibaldi Group is Jeff Garibaldi and Jeff Garibaldi Jr. So next in line, we have Kim Hanneman, the president of PSC&G in the category of utilities. Then we have John Harmon, who is the founder, president, and CEO at the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, the category of diversity and inclusion. Paul Hoffman is the CEO and president at the Liberty Science Center, category STEM education. Nancy Holacek, the senior vice president at RWJ Barnabas Health in the category of nursing and patient care. Shannon Keith is the CEO and founder of Sudara. Her category is global socialpreneurs. John Kennedy, CEO of NJMEP, New Jersey Manufacturing Extension Program in the category of manufacturing. Peter Levy, a member of Mandelbaum Salzburg in the category of legal. Victoria Maglicane, Market Executive Senior Vice President at Investors Bank in the category of banking. Trudy McKenna, Director of Medical Education at Natera, category of medical. Spase Milosky, Chief Investment Officer, Coldwell, AI technology category. George Leotake, sorry if I'm mispronouncing, Director of Workforce Relations, Atlantic Health System, Healthcare Leadership category. Amy Spagnola, Program Director, Psychiatric Rehabilitation at Bridgeway Rehabilitation Services for the category of rehabilitation. Robert Stack, President and CEO, Community Options, category Disabilities Advocate. Yolanda Stansel, VP Network and Field Ops, Verizon, in the category of Communications. Peter Webster, Resident Managing Director of Aon Risk Solutions in the category of Insurance. Dennis Wilson, President and CEO of Delta Dental in the category of Healthcare. Congratulations, everybody. We have, as you can see, an incredible list. If you only knew, I mean, the titles are amazing, but if you only knew the work that each and every single one of you has done to make our state and the world a better place, I can't wait to showcase you at these recognition events. Right now, we are going to be sending you something called a name approval form, which is how your name is going to appear in NJ Biz. So if you don't send it back, we will spell it the way we think it's supposed to be spelled. So we highly encourage that you take 2 minutes today, because this is going to go in next week, and fill out the name approval form, then schedule your video interview. That's the next thing that's done virtually. And that is something that you can use to promote this award. And it is also something that we use the content to create the montages for at the virtual events. So we want to get you on the schedule and have you tell us and the world a little bit more about the good work that you're doing. And I think last but not least, you will get information about the section that we're creating in NJ Biz on the honorees. This year, we're doing something even more exciting than just the section that we've talked about. We're creating a coffee table book so that it lasts forever. And these stories of innovation over the last year are too incredible and too amazing not to just have to read about on a regular basis. So you will get more information on that. I am wishing all of you a happy Friday and a wonderful weekend. And I'm hoping that this is going to be the perfect excuse for all of you to go out and celebrate. I hope you had fun connecting, and we can't wait to talk to you again soon. Congratulations, everyone.
Bye.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Run.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Actually, thank you so very much. What an honor.
So much.
Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.